Okay, guys, I am live. We're going to give it just a minute or two so others can join us. I have sent out my text, and let's see here. You should be getting that soon. And we're live in Cleaning Business Profits. We're live on YouTube. We are live on a couple of my other channels. So we are all set. When you arrive, whether it's on Facebook or YouTube, type into the comments, hello. Let me know you're there. And let me pull it up on my Facebook feed because for some odd reason, the comments come in faster when I view the comments on my live feed on Facebook on my phone versus through my StreamYard. So anyway, let's see here. Oh, that's not the one. Let's see. Let me get to the other one. Hang on, guys. Let me get into the group, our Cleaning Business Profits group. So this question was posted earlier today, and I thought this is a great question. And congratulations, Andrew, for posting such a good question. It got tons of interest and feedback. I have to find my group here. There it is, Cleaning Business Profits. There it is. See? And Andrew did such a great job posting a truly heartfelt and thought-provoking question. And I was amazed at how many comments he got to help him with this question. And I think it's because it struck a chord with a lot of people. And it really makes you think, especially, as business owners, as entrepreneurs. There's so many emotional roller coasters in this business, up and down, up and down. So I forgot to pull up the question where I could read it exactly. Let's see if I can find it. But let's see if I can find that question so I can read it to you kind of word for word. But yeah, I should be able to find it here really quick. So I'll give it another minute while we're waiting for people to arrive to this live feed. And let me just type into this. Hang on. Recent post. I love the way you can search inside of your Facebook group your posts. Because let's see, here it is. This was so good. You can search a word or, a statement, if you remember the statement, and it'll help you find exactly the post that you were looking for, especially if you can be specific. But let's see here. Say hello when you get here so I can recognize you. And if you have not given StreamYard permission to show your Facebook profile, because I use StreamYard, go over to StreamYard.com/Facebook. And that's where you can give StreamYard permission. So I see Carmela Reyes, excuse me, is watching on YouTube, and Sarah is here. There's a whole bunch of other people that are saying hello, but I'm looking at your comments through StreamYard. So if you haven't given StreamYard permission, this is what it looks like. It comes up as Facebook user. And this person says, hi, everyone. So hello back. So it does help if you go to StreamYard.com/Facebook and give StreamYard permission to show your Facebook profile. So Beth, hey, Beth says hugs. Big hug right back at you, Beth. Miss you so much. Maybe we'll get to see you in Denver. Our retreat this year, the big reveal at CBF Live, is that we're all going to Denver, Colorado for CBF Retreat this September. Can't wait. I hope you get to attend. But let's see here. Hey, Brenda, good to see you. Brenda in California. So great to see you. But anyway, Beth, so I hope you are able to make that. It's in Denver, Colorado, September 17th, 18th, and 19th. It is our private retreat for CBF members only and CBF grads and alumni. So hope you get to attend. Would love that. So anyway, let me just jump right into the question that I thought stirred so many great comments and feedback. And I thought I would share my philosophical take on the answer to this question. So Andrew Durning, just one of our wonderful CBF alumni, CBF members, posted this question. Actually, it wasn't today. It was several days ago. But guys, I've been out of town. So after CBF Live, I was able to take a few days off, and I've traveled to 3 different locations since CBF Live. So right after CBF Live, I got on a plane, flew to Georgia, and spent a few days with my amazing sister and celebrated one of her big milestone birthdays. Then I came back into town, pretty much, packed, did laundry, did a few things, worked a little bit, and then I headed off to Key West for a few days vacation with my husband and some friends. So I spent a few days in Key West, then I came back, hit the ground running, did a few things, did some laundry, and I headed off to Columbus, Ohio to do my Nana stuff. So I got to spend a few days with my daughter, son-in-law, and my 2 amazing, sweet little grandbabies in Columbus, Ohio. It's always fun. So I've had 3 different trips. It's been really nice, but it's nice to get back. So if you were wondering, well, where's Debbie been? It's been so quiet. I usually come on here 1 or 2 times a week and go live. I've just been traveling and taking a little bit of vacation time after CBF Live. So that's where I've been, but I'm back. I always love to get back. So this was actually posted on May 7th, but I didn't see it until today. So here's the question that Andrew posted. It was really a great question, Andrew, if you're here. He says, hello all. I have a feeling that I want to share. Sometimes, not all the time, I feel bad when the cleaners are working late, starting a job like at 3 p.m. in the afternoon. Does anyone else get owner's guilt, like you should jump in and help? So that was just such a great question. There were 55 comments, and the post reached over 1,500 people in our group because it was just so popular, and there was a lot of people weighing in. And I think there was a strong consensus that no, you should not have owner's guilt. You certainly should not jump out and help do the cleaning, because as the owner, if you're cleaning, you're not managing or building your business. You're just working a day job. So I think the answer was overwhelmingly no. The right response is not to slap on an apron and jump out there and help them clean. And then there were lots of other great comments and feedback. So I thought I'm going to share a few things that I'm hoping will help all of you out there that at times struggle with this thing called owner's guilt. Because especially if you're in CBF, right, Cleaning Business Fundamentals, and you fix your broken business, all of a sudden you're growing, you're financially achieving more than you ever thought you could or was possible or ever have before. Your business is taking off, and in some cases, you're actually finally carving out real freedom for yourself. And so that owner's guilt can kind of creep up. Kind of like, gee, I feel bad. I take off on Fridays. They're all working hard. Or I feel bad that I now get to turn off the lights and close down the computer and I'm out of here by 4 or 5 in the afternoon. And so let me speak to that a little bit. And I think owner's guilt comes from several places. And it comes from a place of authenticity where people they truly authentically care about other people. It's not just lip service to keep their employees loyal. They truly deep down inside actually care about other people. So that owner's guilt comes from a place of authenticity. But here's what I want to help you with. There's a difference between guilt and compassion. And this is what is so important as for the owner to understand. Guilt comes from doing something wrong. Compassion comes from just empathizing with the people that work for you, because you remember what it was like when you were out there cleaning all day, and it's hard, right? So that's empathizing. It's like, I get it. I've been there. I know how hard it is, right? So guilt is something that really should be reserved for when you've done something wrong. And there's nothing wrong with you assigning additional work to an employee who has committed to working full time. And so make sure you separate guilt from compassion. Compassion is where you feel compelled to maybe go run to McDonald's and buy some Happy Meals and drop them off for your cleaners, just to say, thank you. You guys are so appreciated. I know you're working hard, and I brought you all Happy Meals. Compassion is, I brought you all Happy Meals and a $20 cash tip from me for each one of you on this job because it's run so late, right? So that's compassion. Guilt should be reserved for when you've done something you shouldn't have done, right? And that's different. So let me kind of define what real guilt should look like when the owner is doing something they shouldn't have done. And I think part of this guilt comes from maybe not having clearly established policies around how late people work and what's expected of your employees. So maybe this will help. When you have clear policies, when, let's just say, for example, like in the CBF training, we teach all of our CBF members to hire full-time employees, not part-timers. And so let's just say you hired these 3 people to be full-time. You still have to define what is full-time. Full-time isn't you work whenever I want, as late as I want you. That's not full-time. It's not even ethical, right? You have to define full-time. So in our business and what we teach is full-time is defined by you need to be available to work 8 hours a day, and you need to be available to work between the hours of 8 and 5. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to work from 8 to 5, right? But you need to be available to work between those hours, between 8 and 5, which means if I need you until 5 o'clock, those were the conditions you were hired under. You committed that you will work till 5 if I need you. And so when you have clear policies, if that's the case, if that's the, I'm not telling you how late you should work your staff. I'm just saying, know specifically what the boundaries are. So in our case, and this is just an example, our employees who are full-time are required to be available to work between 8 and 5. And so if they started their day at 8:30 and their last job is going to start around 3 p.m., I am obligated to make sure there's enough help on that job so they can be finished around 5, because I need to fulfill my commitment to my employees as much as I expect them to fulfill their commitment to me. So I think it would be wrong to require or demand someone to work till 6 or 7 o'clock at night because I booked a late job. I think that would be wrong, right? Because that's not the commitment. If the commitment was, yes, I commit to work till 5 o'clock when I'm needed, that's the commitment. They didn't commit to work till 6, 7, or 8 o'clock at night. So make sure you have clear policies around what constitutes a full day or full time. And in my company, that looks like 5 p.m. Now, you can always ask the employee if they're okay with working late tonight. And maybe tonight means you won't get done till 6 or 7. I feel that the right thing to do is to make that optional, because they never committed to work past 5 if you hired them to work between 8 and 5. And so in an instance like that, where you truly need them, maybe something went wrong during the day, somebody called in sick, somebody quit, and you have this job that has to get done. The customer's furious, the customer's irate. They're like, you better get out here, you got to finish it. Then there's nothing wrong with asking employees if they'd be willing to work past the 5 o'clock time if 5 o'clock was their commitment. There's nothing wrong with that. Now, it would be wrong if they said, no, I can't, I got to get home and feed my kids. And you were like, you're going to be fired if you don't. That would be wrong, because you're not keeping your commitment to your employee. But let's flip it. If your employee committed to work full time, they were hired to work full time, you've told them, then you need to be available to between 8 and 5 because I might book a 3 p.m. job that's going to put you till 5 o'clock working, right? Then it's perfectly fine to hold them accountable to their commitment so that if you want to start a job at 3, they don't get to say, well, I don't really want to. I kind of want to get home early, right? Well, that's not the commitment either. It does go both ways. So there would be no reason to feel guilty to say, well, I'm sorry, but I booked a job. You need to be available till 5, and I'm going to hold you accountable to your commitments. So, there's benefits that come with being full-time, like paid vacation, health insurance, and other things. Those benefits are available to my full-time employees. And so when you committed to full-time, you committed to being available till 5. So it's okay to hold them accountable and say, no, it's not optional. I've booked this job. It's going to start at 3, but I promise you'll be done by 5. I'll make sure I assign enough people to help you. Or if it can't be completed by 5, then I'll let the client know we'll have to come back and finish tomorrow. So it's kind of a two-way street. If they committed to you to work till 5, then there's nothing wrong with holding them accountable. If they committed to you to work till 5, it's wrong for you to require them to work past 5, right? Unless you made it optional. You didn't put a bunch of pressure on them and you told them it's optional. If you want to work till 5:30 or 6, it would help me out a lot and you'll make some extra money. And then of course, be generous, right? Maybe bonus them or do something nice. And so I think that helps take the guilt out of it. If they are committed, then there's nothing wrong with you requiring it. If you're asking for something outside of the agreement you have with your employee, then you need to make it optional and not put unfair pressure on them to say yes and to give in and maybe work later than what they want to do. And so guilt comes from doing something wrong, right? Guilt comes from saying, well, you're going to stay late. I know you don't normally work past 5, but I'm going to make you stay late because this client's going to be mad at me and I'm going to lose money or you're fired. So that would be wrong. And a person should feel guilty. And that's not what he was talking about. So he felt guilty about just, hey, if I start a job at 3 when they normally could have been done for the day, should I feel guilty and go help them? So here's the way I look at it. Most of us work past 3. So never feel guilty in your cleaning business, filling up the day of the people who have committed to work a full day. Don't feel guilty. I mean, if you've committed to letting people be off by 2 or 3, then you need to keep your word and not book them past that time. But if they've committed to work till 5, don't feel guilty giving them enough work to keep them busy until 5 or 5:30, whichever they committed. The rest of the world works a lot more than 8 hours a day. Most of us in the United States work 40, 50, 60 hours a week, no matter what job we're at. And here's another thing to kind of help you with feeling guilty as a business owner as you succeed. Nobody came to your rescue when you stayed up till midnight, juggling the schedule because somebody quit. Nobody came to your rescue when you stayed up at your office till 2 a.m. figuring payroll because your whole week fell apart and you're just stuck there till 2 o'clock in the morning. I pulled many a nights where I was at work till 2 a.m. I remember I had an office, which is actually a stone's throw from the house I live in right now, the office I used to be in. I remember times in the early days of my business where I would be up at my office all night, 2 a.m., figuring payroll. Some disaster happened that day or that week. I don't remember specifics, but there were times 2 a.m. And this was before the day of cell phones, right? None of us had cell phones, right? So it wasn't like I could text my husband or call my husband. My husband would be sound asleep. He would know, oh, this is an all-nighter for her because of something that happened, right? And so we would have talked about it, by phone, by landline phone from the office, like, hey, I'm going to be up here really late tonight. Don't wait up, right? There were many nights that happened. And I remember specifically one night, it was 2 a.m., I was finally done. I don't know what I was doing, but it was probably payroll because it was probably like, I have to have this done by tomorrow, whatever. And I remember I called the police and asked them if they would come drive through the parking lot and just wait while I left my office, locked up, and got to my car. And I live in a very safe area, and that office is in a very safe area, but I was just scared. 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm in this building all by myself, and it's kind of a long walk from the glass doors when you locked up, and walked all the way out to the parking lot. And I was just scared. It was 2 o'clock in the morning. But here's my point. And so I remember calling the police. I didn't dial 911, but I just called their non-emergency line. And I said, I know it's a weird request. Would it be okay if a squad car came and, waited in the parking lot while I leave from my office to get to my car? And they're like, oh yeah, sure. We do that all the time for people. And I did that a couple of times, right? I didn't want to be walking out there by myself at 2 a.m. But here's my point. All my cleaning technicians and my admin team were at home in bed. Okay. Nobody felt guilty that I was up there working till 2 a.m. on payroll. Nobody except me. And so as business owners, yes, we do feel kind of bad when our cleaners are working past 3 and we know they're working hard, but don't confuse guilt for compassion. All right. How many business owners work hours and hours or years and years without a paycheck because they're trying to build something and it isn't working yet and they don't know why and they're not getting paid and they work long hours, right? Nobody rescues you. Nobody feels guilty and says, well, you know what? I think I'll give up my paycheck this week because you haven't been paid in weeks. Nobody does that. And so, guilt does come with the territory as you succeed. But just remember, there was a time when your struggle was so intense, you worked for free, you worked ridiculously long hours. Maybe you worked 7 days a week, or maybe you're still working those long hours, but you're just not pushing a mop or scrubbing a toilet. Maybe you're not vacuuming the carpet, but you're still working ridiculous hours, answering emails on the weekends when you're supposed to be with your family, putting out fires via text on Sunday afternoon when you should be spending time with your family, right? And so don't feel guilty because you're not cleaning, right? You're probably working harder than anyone else in the company. You're just working harder on something different, right? Doing payroll, balancing your checkbook, trying to figure out how you're going to rob Peter to pay Paul, right? Juggle your bills. Trying to figure out how you're ever going to pay down your credit card debt because your business is not profitable and you're watching your credit card climb, right? And so I think it's just an indication that you're just a truly authentic person, and it's misplaced compassion, right? We feel guilty and we're supposed to strap on an apron and go help them. But instead, maybe you should just send them all a text and say, I just want to tell you how much I appreciate you. Work until 5:30 tonight on this extra job we booked in. Really appreciate all your hard work. I love my A players. Or sometimes better than words, it's a surprise $20 tip. You just knock on the door and say, hey, I just want to thank all of you for staying late and working late. I just want to bring you each a $20 tip, or a box of Happy Meals, or a whole box of tacos, right? So it's probably compassion. It's because you know what it's like. You've been there. You've done it for years. But here's the thing. If you have clear policies, then you're really just holding people accountable for the commitments they've already made. If you don't have clear policies, that will also cause some of the guilt because you don't have a real commitment as to how late they're willing to work. So you do need to get that. You need to find out who is your full-time worker, who is your part-time worker, and then each of you commit to whatever you both have agreed are the terms of the working conditions. And if it's getting off at 5 or getting off at 5:30, then you stick to that and you hold them to that. If it's getting off at 3, then you stick to that and you hold them to that. And so I hope that helps. And then make sure you understand the distinction between requirements versus requests. Just like there's a difference between guilt and compassion, there's a difference between requirements versus requests. I mean, I require my employees to work a full day if I need them, right? If it's like, look, you were hired to work till 5. If I book a job at 3 and it will mean you'll need to work till 5, then yeah, I'm going to require that because I'm going to hold you accountable for your commitments. But versus a request. So if I have a mutual commitment that you are going to work till 5, but I need you to work till 6. Well, that's a request. You should not require that. You should say, look, I don't think I can get enough people out here to end this job by 5. Would you be willing to work till 6? Is that okay? Sometimes people are like, sure, I'll help you out because you don't ask too often. Some people are like, no, I can't. I got kids to feed and they have to take baths and they've got to do their homework. And no, I can't work past 5. Okay, that's a request. And you need to honor their answer if you make it as a request. Okay, so make sure you understand the difference between a request and a requirement. And your employees do not owe you favors. This is really important. So many cleaning business owners get into this trap. And this is wrong, and this is what will make you feel guilty. So employees don't owe you favors. There's a difference between favors and obligations. My employees who are full-time are obligated to work till 5. You're obligated. I expect you to. If I need you, you better work till 5. But I don't have a right to ask my employees for favors. Please, pretty please, can you work till 8 p.m.? That's a favor. You know, it's one thing if you make it worth their while. I'm going to pay you extra. Would you be willing to work till 6? But it's another thing to make them feel guilty. Can you please help me out this one time? No, I really can't. I'm really in a bind. Can you please help me? They don't owe you a favor. And that is a big mistake that business owners make. Here's another favor that employees don't owe you. So an employee says, hey, can I get off, Friday early at 3? I have kind of a short day. Can you not book me an extra job? I really need to get off early. Okay, no problem. It's not a problem, right? So you let them, right? Then Tuesday rolls around and all chaos hit the fan Tuesday and you have to book an extra job, right? And this job isn't going to end at 5. It's going to end at 7. And you say to that employee, I really need you to work till 7. The employee says, I can't. I told you I can only work till 5. Well, remember I let you off early last Friday? I really think you owe it to me to work till 7 tonight, right? Now you want them to repay you as if you did them a favor to let them off at 3 on Friday. That's wrong. They don't owe you favors. Either let them off with no strings attached or tell them, no, I can't let you off at 3, right? But don't expect people to pay you back with favors, right? And so don't hold that over their head and say, I did you a favor last Friday. You need to do me a favor this Tuesday. The employer-employee relationship should never be about favors. If they ask off and you're okay with them taking off, don't tie strings to it. There should be no strings attached. Just give them the time off. And if you have obviously a tracking system and you have real policies and procedures, you can mark them off as time off request or whatever. But don't expect people to repay a favor. Employee-employer relationships should not be about favors. Right? So there's a difference between favors and obligation. I'm obligated to work as late as I committed, but I don't owe you a favor to work later. Now, if I want to, that's fine, but we should never pressure our employees to do favors for us. So here's some things to help you with the confidence piece around this guilt versus compassion. And I think this will help you, is number one, make sure you have written policies, not a whole bunch of verbal agreements. Verbal agreements get forgotten. Written policies are right there with a signature. It's like, yeah, I agree to work full-time if I'm accepting this job. I agree to be available between 8 and 5 or 8 and 4 or 8:30 and 5:30 or whatever, right? So have written policies so that it's crystal clear what you expect and what they are obligated to fulfill, written policies. And then make sure you have these commitments upfront in advance. So have these conversations. Don't just spring them on your employees and guilt them into doing things. So have conversations in advance and get their prior commitment. So, for instance, are you occasionally willing to work a little late? If I need you, can I check in with you and ask? And if a person is verbally, giving you a commitment, yeah, anytime you need me to work late, then feel free to ask. But if they're in advance telling you, I can never work late, I have nobody to help me with my kids, I have to get home to pick them up from the daycare before 6 p.m., no, I cannot. This is a prior commitment. I can't do it. And so you're committing to not put pressure on them. Or a prior commitment that says, yes, I can work every other Saturday. Or yeah, I can work Tuesdays and Thursday nights anytime you need me, right? Get some verbal commitments up front to avoid asking for favors and last minute crises. And then stick to the agreement. If this person says, I really can't work past 5, but I promise you I will work up until 5, you need to stick to your agreements. You need to stick to them. Don't keep going to them every time you have a crisis because your business is filled with chaos and employees who keep quitting. Don't keep going to that person saying, I hate to ask you again, but is there any way you can work late? Okay. You need to stick to your agreements just like you expect them to stick to theirs. And so a lot of this will help. I think a big part of it is just not establishing policies up front. And for those who have established policies up front, you just feel guilty, right? Because they're working hard. Just remember, it isn't guilt, it's compassion. And then do something about it. Praise them, send them an incredibly complimentary text, give them a little bonus, bring them some tacos. I mean, just act on the compassion that you're feeling. And you won't regret that. And everybody will love you for it. And you'll feel better about it. Then you can drive home and go do your thing. And, don't ever feel guilty that you're closing the door, locking up, turning out the lights, turning off the computer at 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock, and you have employees out there till 5. They're getting paid. This is how they make their living. And there are plenty of days you don't get to go home when everybody else is long gone, right? So I hope that helps. I think owner's guilt is a common problem. People, especially in this industry, are very, very compassionate. Most of us know exactly what it feels like to work late, to clean all day, to be exhausted. We know, most of us started out cleaning. And so we know what it feels like. And so that compassion kicks in, but don't confuse it with being guilty. You're not guilty of anything as long as you're honoring your commitments. You're never guilty if you're holding other people accountable to honor their commitments. So I hope that helps. I'd love your feedback. Here's a question or a comment. This person says, both of the girls I hired said, yes, they can work till 5. Now they say they have to pick up kids. Well, but that's on you, right? Because you allowed it. That's on you. That's not on them. That's on you, right? When you allow employees to dictate how the business will be run, don't complain about it, right? I know I'm probably sounding a little harsh, but this is the reality that oftentimes we get the circumstances we created, right? So the very first time the person who you hired to work till 5 said, oh, I got to pick up my kids, you should have said, okay, I guess that's a deal breaker, right? The first time. But oftentimes we tolerate it. We're like, oh, you do? Thought you could work till 5. Well, not really. And then you keep them busy. You still give them jobs, that you still give them assignments. You don't go and hire their replacement, right? So oftentimes we tolerate this and then we're not happy about what we get. And so the very first time that happened, you should have said, well, that's not what you committed to when I hired you. I guess I need to start looking for your replacement. So we get the staff we deserve because of the things we tolerate. Carmela, can I schedule a consultation? Carmela, you absolutely can. It's very important that you not talk with me about your business joining our CBF community until you're actually ready to invest in yourself. Because I do have one program. It is a turnkey, amazing 12-month mentorship program. It's not cheap. And so you need to wait and talk to me when you are truly ready to invest in yourself. Nothing cheap is worth it. So don't ever waste your time and money. But we literally teach people how to become mop-free millionaires. We teach cleaning business owners how to go from doing the cleaning to building a $1 million cleaning company. And we work with you for an entire year with our CBF program. So it's several $1,000s. I mean, anybody can join for as low as $1,900 down and $589 a month. Believe it or not, absolutely cheaper than buying a car. Definitely cheaper than college. And I'll show you how to make a six-figure income. But wait until you know you're ready to invest in yourself. If you like the program, if you like what you hear when we talk, I always offer a screaming, crazy, amazing deal the day we talk. And if you turn it down because, I got to save up some money, then you lose the deal. And so make sure you wait and talk to me when you're completely ready to invest in your business, as long as you like what you hear. So to get more information about cleaning business fundamentals, you can go to cleaningbusinessfundamentals.com. And there you'll be instructed to fill out a form, let me know a little bit about your business, and then you'll be able to book a consultation at no charge. So cleaningbusinessfundamentals.com. So thank you, Carmela, for asking. I would love to work with you, but just make sure you don't book your time to talk with me if you're not ready to invest in your training. All righty. So let's see here if there's any other questions. I'm not sure who this is, but she says, that's it too. We know the feeling. Yep. It's because we've been there, right? We've been there, done that. How can I hire people to work? Well, that's a whole nother topic. That's a whole nother topic. And really, most people are asking the wrong question, right? Most people are asking, where do I find good people? How do I find people who want to work? That's the wrong question. How do you create a job that attracts the right people? That's the problem. Most people have created a job nobody wants, and now they can't find anybody to say yes to their job. But that's a whole topic. In fact, that's what the Cleaning Business Fundamentals program is all about. I think it's Elisa, or is it Elsa? I'm sorry, Elsa. The Cleaning Business Fundamentals training, it's our 12-month training program, really does a deep dive on why so many cleaning business owners can't find help. It's the number one problem in the industry. It's the number one problem we help you solve. It costs you tens of thousands of dollars to not be able to find good help. It does, actually hundreds of thousands. And so that's the core of our program. And there's other elements, of course, pricing and bidding, raising your prices, charging more, making a profit, cleaning better, training your new staff. But the biggest piece of our Cleaning Business Fundamentals program is hiring the right people and keeping them. Right? So many people can hire people and they run out the back door. And so it's an entire turnkey system that we teach you. And it certainly can't be answered right here. So I stopped an interview in 5 minutes today because she admitted that her availability isn't, in fact, 8 to 5, as she answered in the qualifying question. Bye-bye. Next. I think she was stunned. Absolutely. I mean, you have to have policies, whatever they are. I'm not going to tell people what your policy should be, but you have to have them. And then once you have policy, that becomes the standard. And so then that person who says, "Oh, I'm really not truly available till 5," you nip it in the bud first thing. And in this case, you're like, "Okay, well, we're not a good fit. I need you to be available full time." So great point. It's worth the investment. Oh, thank you so much. It's not showing me on StreamYard who that was, but somebody just posted, it says it's worth the investment. You will learn so much from CBF. Cleaning Business Fundamentals is cheaper than a year of college. We teach people how to build a $1 million cleaning business. If somebody isn't willing to invest in themselves, where they can literally 10x their investment in 1 year, many, many people do. It's possible. Then they're just not ready. Emotionally, they're not ready to take that next step in business. And so, yes, I agree. It's totally worth it. You'll learn so much from CBF. All righty. Oh, that was me, Amy Smith. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Amy, I had a feeling that was you. You're so uplifting. Always so uplifting. Thank you so much for saying that and letting me know. Must knock us off every now and then. I don't know what that means. All right. So Sarah Francis says CBF is my cleaning college. It is so true. I love the way you put that, Sarah. Cleaning business fundamentals is like for less than $10,000, but more than 5,000. For less than $10,000, you're going to get your PhD in business administration for a residential cleaning business. I mean, it just doesn't get any better than that. It's really the best investment you'll ever make is an investment in your entire life, your future. So thank you, Amy, for saying that. Thank you, Sarah. And then Craig says, oh, thank you, Craig. Worth every penny, 6-month member. Just got my care package. Aw, I'm so glad. Thank you, Craig. I'm really glad you're enjoying it. It really is a life-changing program. But it's not for everybody. You need to be ready to stop doing the cleaning. See, not all business owners mentally are ready. Oh, they say they are, but they're not. Because if you want it bad enough, you'd plop down a few $1,000s to learn how to make 6 figures and never clean. But if you're unwilling to do that, you're not ready. You are just emotionally not ready to put down the mop and take the next cut. Thank you, Sarah. Sarah says, I can't imagine my life without it. You know, we hear from people all the time that say that I was ready to throw in the towel. I was ready to quit and go do something else. I was sick and tired of cleaning for years and years and years, never really getting anywhere. Couldn't figure out how to build my business. Couldn't figure out how to find the right employees and keep them long term. We hear that all the time. For the right person who's really ready, PhD times 2, thank you. For the right person who's really ready, this is the most amazing, fastest, simplest path to success if you own a residential cleaning business. I would have given anything if this had been available back when I was struggling. So my business our run rate is right around 2 million. I think we might be just under 2 million. We do like $2 million now, 45 plus employees. I've been an absentee owner for more than a dozen years. I know how to show people how to build a big business that doesn't need the owner to be actively involved in the day-to-day operations. I've done it. I know how to teach you. All righty, let's see here. Brenda says, win-win. It's all about trusting Debbie's system. Thank you, Brenda, for saying that. The system works. In fact, it's not even like blind trust, right? It's blind trust when you buy somebody else's program who's telling you they can build a big business and they have a tiny business, right? That's blind trust. When you trust the system, what you're trusting, thank you, Brenda, is a system that's already been proven to work over and over and over and over again. It is a system that has made more mop-free millionaires than any other program on the planet. So it's a proven system, right? It's a proven system, and it's simple. And all you have to do is follow it, and you can be successful in the residential cleaning business. And like Brenda Daniel says, it's a win-win-win. So anyway, thank you guys for your comments and your feedback. I hope this was helpful because I do feel like owner's guilt is a thing, right? And I thought it was so transparent and authentic of Andrew to post that question. Oh, there, Andrew. Hey, Andrew, you were the inspiration for the whole talk tonight. And Andrew says it's the best decision you'll ever make in your business. Andrew, this entire live presentation was inspired by your great question that you posted on May 7th that got over 55 comments. And your question came from a place of authenticity and true compassion. But I thought it would help other people. So that's why I made it the topic. So thank you, Andrew. Andrew is always so positive and uplifting. He was at CBF Live in Fort Worth last month. It was just so great to see you. I'm always encouraged when I see you in the audience because you're always smiling and you're always nodding. And I feel like, okay, I'm doing good up here. Andrew's happy. Some of you, I can just look at you in the audience. I'm like, okay, I'm on the right track. I'm on the right path. It's just always so encouraging. All righty. And then I think this is Amy that says, I want a lifestyle business so badly. It's what keeps me going. That's right, Amy. So if there's no hope of having a successful lifestyle business, it's really hard to keep grinding it out day in, day out. But when you actually have a path to creating the business of your dreams, you can actually work harder without feeling like I'm going to give up, right? That doesn't mean every step is easy. It certainly doesn't mean everything you do works. And sometimes we slip back, right? And we stray, we stop doing what works. And we're all that way. But as long as you have a path to the kind of business that supports the lifestyle you want, there's hope. And especially if you're moving forward, even small steps. And I can't wait to see what you do with your business, Amy, over the next 12 months. We're just going to do great things together, and we're going to keep doing great things together. Amy Smith is one of those people, it's probably more mindset issues than anything else, that cleaned for 30 years. She's now mop free and is managing 3 employees. And I think by the end of this year, she'll be managing 6 or 7 employees. So put that up on your wall. That's my goal for you. How do you like that? I'm giving you your goals. That's probably not the way it's supposed to work. I probably broke every rule in the book, but I know you're capable of it, and I can't wait to see you do it. So, all right. Carmela says, cleaning business fundamentals. Okay. Good. I'm ready. Awesome. Well, book a strategy session with me, Carmela. I mean, literally, for the right person. And of course, I talk to each person. You can't just sign yourself up to my program. I have to make sure people are ready to take off and to take action. But for a person who really wants in, obviously they can pay in full, but they can put $1,900 down and start the training immediately, the training and the mentoring. $1,900 down and $589 a month. Anybody that wants it bad enough can do that. That's cheaper than a car. And cars are worth less every year you drive it. 10 years after driving a car, it's a piece of junk worth nothing. 10 years after investing in your mind and your business, it can be worth hundreds of thousands and millions. So, it's all in perspective. So, Carmela, I hope you're ready. All right, let's see. Do we have any other questions? Yeah, Amy says, done. That's right. Any other questions? Okay, Brad S. says, getting rich off the back of their workers is the American way anymore. Getting rich off the backs of anybody is not the American way. It never has been. The American way has always been lift as you climb. Lift as you climb. So you got that backwards. All righty. Sarah says, Carmela, you will have to buckle up. You better strap on your seatbelt if you work with me. You will gain so much knowledge and so many friends. That is so true. You'll never be alone in business. It will be a true roller coaster. That is so true, Sarah. I love that. All right, guys. So I don't see any other comments or questions. And Carmela, I look forward to seeing your appointment on my calendar. You can always nudge me on Facebook if the appointment doesn't let you book for soon enough, and I might be able to manually move your appointment up sooner. Sometimes my appointment calendar doesn't even allow people to book for a week or 2 weeks out because of all my other appointments, but I can manually move it. So you can nudge me if you're booked a little too far out. Let's see here. Oh, thank you. See, who was this? I don't know if this was Amy or not, but it says, Debbie's program gave me hope. Oh, and she said, I love you, Debbie. Thank you so much. I love each and every one of our CBF members. Your life and your success and the lives of your employees that you're going to impact mean so much to me. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I love you guys too. All right. Love best. And Brenda, thank you. Shoot, I'm just going to stay on here all night and just take compliments. Yeah, hit me with them. I'm joking. I hate to be too obnoxious. So thank you, says Debbie Sardone is the real deal. That's probably the highest compliment a person can ever give you, right? It's the highest compliment. Oh, thank you, Elaine. Thank you. You're so sweet. All right, guys. So this kind of wraps it up. And thank you, Andrew, for inspiring such great conversation. in our Facebook group. Oh, Andrew, I just want to remind you, if you're not in Momentum, you can post your questions in the CBF Grads group. I can't remember if you're in Momentum or not. I can't think off the top of my head. Hopefully you are in Momentum, though. We are changing California. Boy, I hope so. California needs some help showing them how to treat workers. Yeah, that is so true. That's one of the things at CBF that we do, is to show people how to love on and recognize and treat your employees amazing, because it's not the way to success to get rich off of other people's backs. That's not the way to success. In fact, that's really the way to poverty of mind and poverty of life. So thank you, Debbie. What would I do without your teachings? Thank you so much. Thank you, Gracias. All right. Or thank you. Okay, guys, I got a life, so I got to go. Hope you have a great night. Thanks for joining me live. Take care.